Fear has always been an integral part of people's lives. This basic emotion became one of the pillars of the survival of our ancestors and the evolutionary process, as it was this emotion that allowed the body to sense danger and be able to confront it. In one way or another. The fight-or-flight reaction, as people call it. And after so many centuries, a person can still experience fear, albeit in other forms, most relevant being anxiety. And the strangest thing is that in most cases we... Holy shit! Like it? Well, you see, our brain is, if putting it mildly, is a smart junkie. He loves to be stimulated, anytime, anywhere. But he has one ground rule: when being able to control the dosage, it needs to be done, as he doesn't really want to get injured. An excellent example would be waking up in a cold sweat after a colorful nightmare. That happens because the amount of fear, therefore the related hormones accumulated overnight, is colossal up to the point at which our brain simply cannot comprehend it anymore, so he pushes the stop button. Also, the brain has one very interesting feature. Its sense of reality is basically distorted. It doesn't matter to him whether there is an actual brutal attempt on your life or you're watching Saw. He will still feel fear, since you are having an experience which irritates the hypothalamus and individual areas of the cerebral cortex. Based on these two statements, we can make a fairly logical conclusion that the horror genre overall serves as a perfect stimulant for one's brain, so people actually do that. But, as with any other feeling, you kinda can get used to fear. If you repeat the same pattern over and over again, it will eventually stop working, and what previously seemed scary will turn into another stupid story or funny picture. And so, that process happened to our today's guest. For those of you who don't know, Herobrine is the subject of a community-made creepypasta. There are many versions of his story, but one is clearly the most memorable. In this story, he represents Notch's long-deceased brother, whose soul is trapped in his brother's creation. Which is a pretty dumb but interesting trope to go with, considering that it was created more than a decade ago. And I'm not gonna lie, from the first sight, his story may look pretty dark and eerie. Just imagine this. The year is 2011. The school is finally over. No more lessons from moralizing from these meticulous teachers. Summer promises to be filled with bright colors and wonderful times. You decide to celebrate this fact by launching your favorite world in Minecraft. At the moment, deciding what interesting thing you'll do this time. After playing with some new music discs you found in the cave and stopping at the idea of a new base construction, you realized that you lack some materials, mainly planks, so you run to the nearest forest. Your computer is not as strong as you would like, but you are not particularly picky, since you're already accustomed to the small render distance and the fog that surrounds your character. And, as you prepare to demolish the whole forest, you suddenly stop. For a slight moment, you feel that something is off, not as it's supposed to be. You've catched a glimpse of a strange silhouette in the distance that clearly did not belong to any mob you knew, and now it's gone. How strange, you think to yourself. And as you increase the render distance and come to the place where it happened, you don't see anything weird at all, just as if nothing was here right now. Stunned, but not scared that much, you quickly start to think that it might have been a bug related to the projection of your own character, so you complete your journey and finish your base. But then, late at night, your conclusion is destroyed after you ask yourself one simple question. Why didn't it have eyes then? At this moment, you understand that right now in your Minecraft world, there is a creature that you don't know anything about. Hiding, looking for you, lurking in the depths of the caves and shadows of the trees, waiting patiently for your return, just so it can do... nothing that scary? I mean, in the original creepypasta all that he was doing was flaming the leaves of the trees and building some random shit. So, yay, scary. By the way, I'm only considering the original version of it, and I'm not talking about the mod that was done some time after it. Coming back. Okay, now that we have developed our understanding of the subject on a pretty decent level, let's talk about why it just doesn't work anymore. Let's start from afar. The human body, being essentially a very high quality mechanism, has an embedded response to almost any single type of stimulus. For example, we laugh when we are being told a well-constructed joke, or we feel sad when we see a bad grade on an exam. As you already understood, fear is one of the responses. And each time we feel fear, two main hormones are being produced. Adrenaline, the one that gives you the physical capabilities, and norepinephrine, the function of which is to give you higher blood pressure and the feeling of tremor apparently. Because of these bad boys, you actually feel fear. And each time when there is a catalyst that you've already seen in the past happening, the amount of hormones produced is being lowered while the tolerance for them is becoming higher, which basically puts you in a state of I'm a big boy and not scared of the dark anymore. So, because of this, when we are looking at Herobrine from a horror perspective nowadays, its main flaw has become invisible. There is really nothing new and interesting. Sure, the suspense of him coming from behind might leave you some sort of stress, but it is really nothing when being compared to the feeling of true pressure and tremor that you experience while playing an actual horror game. And putting that aside, he's actually failing at all the other aspects of a true horror. He can't scare a person attached to the game, can't put a real feeling of anxiety, and overall doesn't have any sort of unbearable atmosphere around him and his persona. Herobrine has been brought to life, and now that we know his appearance and what he can do, we simply accept him for what he is. A goofy Minecraft creepypasta man. So, I guess that for me this discussion is over by now. I really don't have anything particular to add. Well, see you in the next one. Enjoy this.